Hey guys, today we're going to show you how to build a slot car truck from A to Z. So we're designing the slot car truck from scratch. It's my daughter's birthday party coming up. She wants slot cars, so I'm just going to show you how I do this fresh. Now I'm going to say the first thing I recommend to people when starting out, I'm not going to do this step myself because it's already done, but it would be to just buy a set. And I suggest buying a set and the appropriate lap counter. So if you're Evolution or Go, this is a good one. If you're going to be on digital, this is a good one. And some lubricant for either system. And that's all you're going to really need to start off with. The slot car sets are fairly large. Even the Carrera Go, which is our smaller scale, the battery operated sets, the most inexpensive set I have, that is still going to give you a decent amount of track. So I don't want people like overbuying on track when they're first starting out. So with that, I'm going to show you the program I use to design. So keep in mind your budget when you're doing this, guys. I'm going to just look down here as I start the program. Okay, so the program I use is Ultimate Racer. This is Ultimate Racer 3. I don't know if Ultimate Racer 4 or 5 or whatever is out by the time you watch these videos are kind of evergreen. That's what I use. Now, when we're picking our slot car track designs and stuff, when you're designing, try to keep your budget in mind. For example, you know, it doesn't have to align perfectly. You want it to align with the type of stuff you're buying. So for example, if it doesn't perfectly align without a certain turn piece and you only need one of that turn piece, it's not really worth buying just one turn piece. You'll see what I mean when we start designing this. So I've decided on a digital track, and I'm going to use wired controllers. So that's important. So I need to make sure when I'm designing this, I want to have a decent amount of space from one side of the table to the other so that the kids can all stand around. I'm choosing wired because kids tend to drop the controllers, which is not a good thing. So what I like to do first is put in it'll say, you know, it could say black box control unit, whatever. I want to orient this to be the correct orientation. When this program is measuring space, try to remember it's going to count the control unit itself. So if you don't mind your control unit overhanging from the table a bit, don't even put a control unit in and just use straights. Now I, for one, don't care. Oh yeah. So this is another thing. I have the I'll have my grid displayed as 2x2. So here we see 2 foot, and I'm doing 2x2 because it's just easier. So this is going to be on a 5x12 layout. So I know I can go about halfway down this square here, and that's about 5 right here. And then, well, figuring out 12 is easy, right? Because it's 2x2. Now that I've done that, now I do have some limitation here. Like my one limitation is that I don't have double lane change. I can only use curve lane changes. I can use either 2 right curve lane changes, or I can use a right and a left curve lane change. The double lane change you see in our videos is actually a warranty return. But that's okay. We'll make that work. So I want to make this into like a figure 8. Now I'm not too worried about like if these lane changes will actually look a little bit off, and that's okay. I know what I need. I need an inside, outside, outside, inside. So keep that in mind when you're doing the lane changes. Like when you're doing a curve lane change anyway, sorry about that, but when you're doing a curve lane change, it doesn't need to be correct as long as you know the right orientation. If you're new to this hobby and don't know at all what you're doing, yeah, you should care. I also want to keep this, am I using the right ones? Yeah. I want to have borders on these. It's a lot more fun, in my opinion, to have borders than not have borders. I'm not too sure about this. You know what? Maybe if you're already going to have a tight turn, it's not like putting a loose turn immediately after is going to make it any better. So I'd rather save time and labor and just keep the more difficult sections difficult. There's no point in trying to smooth it out after, like the curve lane changers are the hardest radius, so there's no way around it. It'd be really hard to overcome. You know, I'm trying to think of my design here, how I'm going to make this into a figure 8. That looks fine to me. That looks pretty good. Remember, we need to put a second curve lane changer in here somewhere. I could make it a left one. If you want to add borders, you just go to the very end here. Click border. So if you're going to use the borders for the curve lane change and the high bank turns are the same kind of border. So just keep that in mind. I only need outside borders. I'm only doing 1/32. I can already tell I'm going to have a fun time editing my voice clips. Probably going to be seeing a lot of jumps. It's hard to do two things at once. I am a man. Hopefully this isn't too loud. Yeah, so for 1/32, if you're just doing magnet cars, you'll be okay with just outside borders. When you're doing magnetless, I found that I did need inside borders as well. And obviously, if you're doing 1/24, you're going to want to have inside borders. I do recommend making sure you have room for inside borders because you can always make those up. You don't have to buy plastic ones like me. If you ever go to like an estate sale or something, you never know. You know, that's a nice thing about Carrera track is you never know what you could find at a yard sale or something. You might find a digital 1/24 and then you already have the system to run it. So it'd be kind of silly not to just put in the borders, right? Okay, so I'm just going to slide this over so that I know. You know, I'm going to slide this all the way over, actually. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Right there is 12. We're not even close to using the 5 foot here, but keep in mind I want to make this a figure 8, so I want to add a top section. I'm also trying to do, like I said, I'm trying to do this as simple for myself as possible. Now I could throw in the second lane change in this top section here, which I might do, but I want to have time for them to pass each other too, you know what I mean? Let's try going upwards on that angle. A smooth angle. I kind of want to, I'm actually going to put, you know what, we might move that control unit, we'll see. I'm going to put one more here though. Another straight there because I want, like I said, I want space for the children to be able to stand beside each other. What did I say 12 was? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 right there. Okay. All right, well, we're already hitting that limit. I can go higher. So depending on where you have this thing, that's going to determine determine where it is. I think we can add another straight. Okay. I recommend using wider turns. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Oh, this is 12 right here, isn't it? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Oh yeah, no, I can't put that extra straight in there. As a matter of fact, I feel like I'm going to need to use hard turns. Now I can have, now it's okay to end. So remember the orientation of this. I'm probably going to throw out some fancy animation. At least I hope I do. Don't be lazy, Billy. As long as you're going into a soft turn and then you add a hard one at the end, that's okay because you're slowing down naturally. Think of it like a flow. Like I don't want to have hard and then soft and then hard. You want to have it gradually go down or gradually go up. I'll make a video about understanding these turn radiuses after. So you know what? For now, I'm just going to fill that section with hard curves. And I will soften these up later as I see fit. As a general rule of thumb, I say don't go... Oh yeah, here we are. We're in some trouble now, guys. Can we make this? We might be able to make this. Because we're actually... When I drag this over, you can see I'm not actually fully over. I didn't think I'd need to be, but clearly I actually might be having to adjust. Okay. Yeah, this might work. Oh. All my stars in heaven. The problem is we need to get that second lane change in somewhere. Remember that it might look like I can put it up here, but I can't put it up in that top right because that's actually going the opposite direction. We need a straight before lane change, going the direction of the track. Okay, let's see. Let's see what. No, I do have gap filler. Now, my advice to people starting out when they're doing the track designs is just buy one pack of 1/3, one pack of 1/4 straights. Those will help you. The combination of the two can help you fill in the gaps pretty easily. Let's see if we can get a curve lane changer in here instead. Now I'm doubting it, but oh, you know what? We can put a left one down here. Look at this. See, this is what I missed. This is why I like using a track planner ahead of time because I can catch things like that. So we'll actually throw. Remember, I know this isn't going to look right, but as long as you have your orientations correct. So you just need, what I mean by orientation, you need one lane changer that goes from out to in and one that goes from in to out. And then you should be good depending on how the direction of your track goes. Remember, if you're making a bridge, these can end up the opposites. So yeah, that's, again, this is an example that doesn't look right, but that'll be fine. This is great. Okay. Now to fill in this piece here. I feel like we could use a 3x30. Maybe that'll be wide enough. Oh, that's pretty close. I'm still going to need some gap filler. So the gap filler would be... That to me looks like it is a... this is a 1/3. That sticks out a bit much, so I will use 1/4. Let's see how that goes. See, it doesn't look like it's going to fit, but it actually, you can have a bit of a gap there. Now, if I want to get really fancy, which I might, I kind of feel like I do. I kind of want to have this curve go upwards, right? So here's the thing. If you want to if you want to redo a section to redo the angle, you just put your mouse over, orientate. I actually want to move this around first. So to do this, I'm going to go like... There we go. Right like that. And now we can use some wider turns. Actually, so this section here, I feel like I'm going to add another hard turn here. You'll see why. Come on. There we go. So just have to drag in the general direction. So I'm going to make this so it's going to be straight, as straight as can be for that one connection to hit that other. Perfect. I can get rid of this piece of gap filler for now. Now I'm going to double check, measure twice, design once. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times 2 is 12. Perfect. Now, obviously, I would have preferred to use softer turds for the kiddaroonies, but when life gives you lemons, take the lemons. Make life take the lemons back. I don't want your stupid lemons. What am I supposed to do with these? Oh, there we go. Oh, so you see, this is what happens if you get too close. So if you just do a little further away, you only do one section, it's not gonna auto-click. Okay, that's fine. I'd rather mess up like that. There we go. So obviously you could tell I've had practice designing courses on this thing. I'm blazing through this. If it's gonna be your first time designing a course, oh my gosh, there we go. No. If there's one complaint I have about this, I just wish there was a way to keep this straight. There we go. You're going to have a lot harder of a time. Okay, so here's the tricky part. We definitely want to have a straight, because this is this loop, right? they're not going to know the braking zone for that bottom corner, so I do want to keep that straight there. So let us see. We are a bit generous with the room right now. I don't mind if a border overhangs a bit as long as the catch fence is good enough to catch it. I can. This is gonna have to get shortened a bit. I don't recommend doing kind of gap filler like this. You know, honestly, I could. Before I screw around with this too much, let's keep this in mind. I don't care if I have to angle this thing a bit on the table. So let's move all of our pieces out of the way. And we'll angle this a touch. See if I can't free up some space. That doesn't look like it's going to work, does it? Well, I mean, like I said, I don't mind a bit of overhang as long as the catch bench can get it, but this is just too much. Okay, let's pretend I didn't do that. There we go. Yeah, so I would have redesigned this to make that turn a little bit easier, but you know, our friend Mr. 1x30 will help with this. So 1x30 with 1x60 gives you a nice flat curve. I'll just drag this down. Oh, what do you think of that? That looks better. Okay. Okie dokie. So there's going to be some slight overhang with that border, but that's okay. In real life, I might be able to wiggle it around or something, you know what I mean? Wiggle it down. You know, I really want to make that a smooth turn at the bottom. As a matter of fact, I could even bank it. Could I bank it? That's 2. Yeah, I could bank that turn. Okay, Destiny's not on my side here. Unfortunately, it's going to have to be a super tight course. I am going to have to use another. Okay, so here's a nice little tidbit for you guys too, a nice little tip. The 1x30s, they come in a pack of 6, but they also come in a extension set that comes with 4 of them and then 2 straights. If you're in the situation where you're like me, where you're only going to need a 2 or 4 or less, getting the extension set is a good option because you're going to get more straights with it. Yeah. And now I'm just adding that in. So it's kind of funny because it says here, that's what I mean by the gap filler. I'm going to have to use some gap filler here. That's more than a straight. Is it? Maybe it's not. I don't know. This will tell me right here. Yeah, it definitely was a little on the short side when it was all done. Was it? Not by much. So see how I tried to use 2 2x30s and 1x4 straight. Sorry, not 2x30s. I tried to use 2 1x3 straights and then the 1x4, but really it should have been 2 1x4s and then a 1x3. Again, there's some overhang here, but that is what I need. I can see here that I have the table nice and planned out. I'm not gonna go through the effort of putting in a ton of borders on both sides like I did over here. Let's just put on some borders at the top of the turn. At the top, that top turn completely, actually. And I'll tell you why, because then we're going to take the final measurement. And that'll tell us, oh, okay, well, you know what, that one can stay there. That looks nice and neat. I'm just going to put 3. So if you just put them at the farthest ends of your course, that will tell you if things are going to fit or not. I like to keep my courses simple. Yeah, like I said, there's going to be a bit of an overhang here, but I'd rather... I think I can make the catch fence work with it. And she barely fits at the end there, but... Okay, yeah. All right. Next, we'll check properties. And right here's the measurement. So it's telling me it is 12 feet by 5 by 7, huh? 5 by 7. It's even line lengths. I could obviously, since I'm doing 1/32, I could just take those borders out. I could also make some custom borders that are like half. We're definitely within. I do think I could wiggle this a bit when I actually build the table so it would fit. Like angle this somewhat. I could also just shorten the straight here if I needed to. So I could take out like a piece here and a piece here and try to angle it that way. But I think that this is going to be good enough. So in the next set of the video, I'll show me physically putting the tables down and putting the track on, and then we'll see how she ends up. So if you want to see that and continue, make sure to subscribe, and we will talk to you later. Bye-bye.